Okay. I'm sticking with the boy. I know he's small, but small people can still kill. You know, I'm really thinking I should just watch the Netflix show. It's not technically cheating if I'm still gonna read the book and watch the show, but I really want to know who the Chestnut Man is. My roommate says I've literally met him already, but I can't tell. Like, no one seems to be like him. Okay, let's just start. Welcome back, book lovers. It's Lady Lauren Explorer, and we are on day 16, or October 16th, in the Chestnut Man by Soren Swidstrup. I'm gonna get his last name, at some point in time before we end this book. I'm going to. Yes, I am. Okay, so if you haven't been a part of my first corresponding days for the Chestnut Man, I am reading the corresponding days of the Chestnut Man since it starts in October, for the present day, October 5th. And then October 5th, we get introduced to our two detectives who are going to be our two points of views mainly. There's also other points of views, but our 2 points of views mainly throughout the book is Thurin, who is a female detective who is trying to get put into the cyber security of the police force. And then we have Hess, and Hess is a Interpol, our former Interpol officer who we know got in trouble and got kicked out or maybe put on suspension for something that happened when he was in Interpol, but we don't know technically what it is. I got hints of it, like he likes drinking a lot, he doesn't respect authority figures, but there has to be like this instance where it broke the camel's back, and we haven't got that yet. I really want to know though, like really. But anyways, so on October 5th, present day, we meet them. But the book goes into October 31st, 1989, and it shows I'm guessing the becoming of the Chestnut Man. His first couple of kills. He's killed a family of sorts. He's killed two teenagers, a girl and a boy. And in the book, I know in the show, because I watched the first scene because I wanted to figure out about this one thing I'm going to talk about. So in the book, it talks about how the teenage girl has like half her face is in porch and the other half's like sit like up. In the show, I didn't see that. It was like just her and a pool of her blood on one side of her face. I was like, oh my gosh, no, I like the face in porch. I like that, but it's okay. And then also in the show, what was crazy is in the book, the mother in the tub, you saw that she had both her arm and her leg amputated. But in the show, she's just in the bathtub. So I was like, I want to see amputations. I was just like, why did you take the gore out of it? Body horror. No. But it's on Netflix, so. But what I was like fiending for was in the book, the police officer who's going to the house to check on the welfare of this family is heading to the basement. He's already found a foster boy by the curtain in the book. In the show, the boy's in the bathroom with the mother who's already dead. And he calls 911 and tells them, hey, you need to come out here. And then he hears something in the basement, and he goes down to the basement and tries to figure out where the other foster girl is, and she's in the basement. But as he's getting towards the basement, he sees that there's a lock on the floor, and he, in his mind, is like, did someone break into the basement, or did someone break out of the basement? And that has been sticking with me from October 13th. And I started reading this on October 8th. So I had to watch the first scene to figure out if the lock was broken from the inside or the out. And it looks like, to me, it looked like from in the Netflix series that the lock was broken from the inside because it went off the hinge of the door. And if they broke it off from the outside, then the lock wouldn't be attached to the door. It would be attached to the hinge, but the hinge is not there anymore. So I'm thinking they broke out of the basement. But that's beside the point. I won't know until later on. So, we go to present day. So we already met Thuan and Hess. And then we slowly start like meeting other characters, like Rosa, who's an MP in Copenhagen. And we find out that her daughter had been missing for a year and is presumed dead because they did an investigation where a sexual predator has confessed and said that, yes, he sexually assaulted her, killed her, chopped her up, and then just dispersed her throughout New Zealand. And there's evidence that points towards that because he had a machete with her blood on it. But we later find out that they only have blood and not bone matter or bone dust. So technically, she could not have been dismembered. Don't know. So we get her point of view and her husband's point of view sometimes. And then we go into October 6th. October 6th is when we find the first present day Chestnut Man killing, and with Laura. And Thuan, who I don't really like because she's so old school detective, and I mean old school detective in a very bad way. She is honing in on the boyfriend who has killed the girlfriend. And the son of the girlfriend, Laura, was at the house and didn't hear anything, but he also has a mental disorder where he's not in reality. Then we go to October 12th. October 12th is where we get another point of view incoming, and that's with Eric. And I think of him as a predator because his first like impression to us is him falling behind this woman and saying how he would love to just like take her and just, destroy her the other way because she thinks she's a bimbo. And if he just flashes money, she'll spread her legs. And he has a wife who is calling and asking could she go to her mother's house with the girls. And he was like, yeah, whatever. He doesn't really like his wife right now. But what happened is the Chestnut Man had mailed Eric Laura's cell phone, and Eric didn't know that he had the cell phone. So the officers are following the signal and try to arrest Eric. And he's like, I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about. I just got a notification to go pick this up, and I picked it up. And they're like, wait, where's your wife? And then we get the wife's point of view, and she's being chased by the Chestnut Man, and it fades to black because we know the Chestnut Man has gotten her. So October 13th is where we find Anna hung from a tree with Chestnut Man on her shoulders. Then we get sort of like clues about like why the Chestnut Man is doing this. Sort of, kind of. I haven't, like, it's not concrete, but it has a pattern. And at the end of October 13th, we find that the Chestnut Man had sent a call to child services to Laura about Laura and her son, and saying that you need to take her son away. I think his name is Magus, away from Laura because she cares more about spreading her legs than the welfare of her son and all that kind of stuff. And the Child Protective Services, they did a welfare check and they didn't find anything. But the kicker is Laura started to back away from her friends and family and her boyfriend. But her boyfriend was very persistent. And the night, the weekend that he went away for his work trip, she changed the locks on the door. And he didn't know that she did this. And that was actually one of the points where, like, Dewin is like, if you guys had a good relationship, why she changed the locks, and why did she tell you she changed the locks? And he was just like, I don't know. But we got something. Hess goes back to the house because he feels like there's something going on, and he's just like, I need to find out. Something's nagging me about this anonymous tip that happened a few months before Laura is killed. He goes back into the house with Dewin, and Dewin just like leaves him after she asked the neighbors questions, and he's like, I'll just stay here. He goes into, I think his name is Magus's room, and it's typical, I think he's 10-year-old room, but he sees these pictures, and he starts looking at the pictures. He's like, yeah, like, a little boy drawing. It's not bad, but it's a little boy drawing. But as the pictures continue on, he starts seeing more details, so he knows that the boy is getting more creative and more in tune with how you're actually supposed to draw a house. But he also sees something strange. He sees the house with the boy and his mother, but the garage keeps getting bigger than the house as the pictures go on. And he has to find something strange about that. So then he's like, well, what's in the garage that made this boy, who is not of this reality, mentally hone in on this garage? So Hess goes to the garage and he finds a trap door. And I think you know what a trap door in a garage means. He goes down there. It's fully furnished with a bed, soundproof rooms, a camera pointed towards the bed, and Wi-Fi. So, yes. As he's looking through this room, he gets knocked in the head. We later find out that Hans has been sexually abusing Magus during the whole entire time of him dating Laura. And someone found out about it and blamed Laura for not looking out for her son. Sad. Very sad on both things. Now we go to Anna. Anna is killed almost for the same thing. They are a wealthy family and they've been moving a lot, and they have 2 little girls. We find out that Anna when she called her husband and told her she was going to her mother's house, she actually wasn't. She was packing up and taking the two girls and their passports and leaving him, and he didn't know that. And we find out that in the other cities where this family lived, the girls have been to the hospital way too many times for breaks and bruises that little girls shouldn't have, way too many times. So it's been concluded that we think that the girls have been physically abused by their father, and the Chestnut Man feels that the mother should have done something about it, and he stepped in and then killed her. So that is where we left off in October 13th. Now we're going to go to October 16th because it is October 16th. So let's get reading, because I really want to know what's going on. So let's begin on October 16th. Yes. That's what he gets. Okay, so I literally just finished it. Finished October 16th. It is 9:22. It was a very quick read though. We're on the right track. He's going after the mothers of children he finds that are in dangerous situations, neglectful situations, abusive situations, all that kind of stuff. So for the first two, I was on the mother's side because I was like, oh my gosh, I think like the mothers are like doing something to get their children out of the situation. But Jessie, oh my gosh, Jessie is just, she's a bad mother. She's a bad mother. And obviously she died. But Hess and Thewin, mainly Hess, figured out who he was going for next. And they actually caught her, Jessie, before the Chestnut Man can get her the first time. But the second time, he got her. He also killed a cop. So, I mean, that's more death right there. That's the second cop he's killed. Because he killed that first cop in 1989. But also another thing, in the Netflix adaptation of it, it's like 1987. I don't like that. I don't like that at all, but whatever. So we ended on Jessie being dead, and she has both her arms amputated and one of her legs amputated. And then a Chestnut Man was in her mouth. So I'm just like, I have some theories about who I think it might be now. It has to be someone, I think, in the child welfare department. I'm thinking is the caseworker. But I don't know. I'm so confused. Like, I don't know who I'm looking for. I just know it's a man, and I automatically know that it's not Hess. That's basically it. Or any of the other females. I just know that. And like, everyone could be one. Like, everyone. Except for Rosa's husband. So I know it's not Hans because he's still on the run for being a pedophile. I know it's not Eric because he's in jail for abusing his children. But like everyone else, the teacher, the doctor that was taking care of both Laura and Anne's kids, if they find out that Jesse's kid was also seeing the doctor, then I'm like, yeah, it has to be the doctor. I don't know. And I'm getting really frustrated with myself because I can't read again until the 20th. And then I can't read again until the 30th. I did this to myself, but content. All right, guys. Well, that is it. I am nowhere near close to finding out who the Chestnut Man is. I can't even give you theories. I do have questions, though. First of all, when we began the Oren family, that's the 1989 death, they said that there's 2 foster kids. So automatically I know, and especially from the Netflix adaptation, that the reason why there's a padlock on the door is because both or one of those kids, especially the girl, she was in the basement, had been locked in that basement. So was the Chestnut Man in there with them? Now I'm trying to think, did the Chestnut Man come out of the basement or come in the basement to get the kids out? But then why was the boy in the... Wait. Oh my gosh. What if the foster boy that was in the bathroom with the mom, the Chestnut Man, and he was abusive? Like, no, he wasn't abusive. He was an abusive household. Because that girl in the Netflix conversation, she was like dirty. And he was like relatively cleaner, but he didn't have like any blood marks. Like when I mean like blood marks, I mean like cuts or anything. And he was also in the bathroom. He could have been in shock after killing everyone. And then, just in shock that he did it finally. What if it's him? What if it's that little boy, because he was getting abused by that family, and him and that girl, he just was like, you know what, F this. I'm getting everyone in that household. It could be that. Also, where was the father? I know the policeman was looking, saying that's like the male or Oren family was missing. It could have been the dad. But why would the dad do it? Did he find out that the family was abusing the kids? But how did he not know? I'm sticking with the boy. I know he's small, but small people can still kill. So I'm thinking it's the boy. He broke out of the basement and then went on a killing spree. And the whole entire household that he felt abused him and the little girl. And then he killed a police officer. That's what I have right now until the 20th. And then I can figure out if I'm right or if I have to change my theory. But I hope you guys stick with me until then. I hope to see you guys on the 20th so we can go over this, because this is getting really good. Also, I think I can now. No, I can't. Because I know the character who plays the Chestnut Man. I know his face, but I can't watch Cinefics. I can't watch it. If I didn't know his face, I could watch it. I know his face, so if I see him, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just that man. And then I'll know. Man. Okay. Well, I'll just see you guys on the 20th. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope we can solve this case together before we actually find out who the Chestnut Man is as an puppy. But see you guys on the 20th.